palace of King David was a place of grandeur, filled with power, wealth, and the weight of divine favor. But beneath its golden rooftops, dark desires festered. Among David's many sons, Amnon, his firstborn, stood as heir to the throne. He had everything a prince could ask for: privilege, authority, and a future as king. Yet none of it satisfied him. Amnon's heart was consumed with longing, not for power, but for Tamar, his half-sister. She was beautiful, pure, and kind, the daughter of David and a different wife. In his twisted mind, desire turned to obsession, and obsession to torment. He wanted her, but he knew the law of God forbade such a union. Day by day, his lust gnawed at him, making him sick with longing. He grew thin and restless, his frustration consuming him like a disease. Then came Jonadab, his cousin and supposed friend, cunning, shrewd, and dangerous. "Why are you, the king's son, so weak and miserable?" Jonadab asked. Amnon sighed. "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." Jonadab smirked. "Then stop suffering in silence. Here's what you must do. Pretend to be ill. Lie in bed. When the king comes to see you, ask him to send Tamar to prepare food for you. When she is alone in your chamber, do as you please." The plan was set. Amnon followed Jonadab's advice. He lay in bed, feigning sickness, his face pale with false weakness. When David, his father, came to visit, Amnon played the part well. "Please, father," he groaned, "let Tamar come and make food for me. Let her prepare it in my sight so I may eat from her hand." King David, suspecting nothing, agreed. He sent for Tamar, who obeyed without hesitation. She was innocent and unaware, moving with grace as she prepared cakes in her brother's sight. When she finished, she brought the food to Amnon's bedside. But he refused to eat. "Send everyone out," he ordered. The servants obeyed, leaving them alone. Then, as Tamar stood before him, he seized her wrist. "Come, lie with me, my sister." Tamar recoiled, her voice trembling with urgency. "No, my brother. Do not force me. Such a thing should not be done in Israel. Do not disgrace me. And as for you, where would you go with your shame? Speak to the king. He will not withhold me from you." But Amnon did not listen. Overpowered by lust, he forced her, violating her in the very chamber where he had feigned weakness. The moment it was done, his desire turned to disgust. The fire that had burned so hot in his heart now turned cold and hateful. "Get up! Get out!" he spat. Tamar, her dignity shattered, pleaded with him again. "No, sending me away is worse than what you have done to me." But Amnon called his servant. "Throw this woman out and bolt the door behind her." Tamar, once clothed in the royal garments of a virgin daughter of the king, tore her robe in anguish. She covered her head with ashes and wept as she fled to her brother Absalom's house. Absalom, upon seeing her, clenched his jaw. "Has Amnon been with you?" he asked. He told her to remain silent for now, but in his heart, fury burned. When King David heard of what had happened, he was enraged, but he did nothing. Perhaps because Amnon was his firstborn, his heir. Perhaps because guilt from his own sins weakened his authority. Whatever the reason, justice was delayed. But Absalom did not forget. 2 years passed, and in that time, Absalom's rage simmered into a deadly plot. He invited all the king's sons to a feast, and Amnon, unsuspecting, attended. When the time was right, Absalom gave the signal, and his servants struck Amnon down. The once proud prince, who had dishonored his sister, fell dead at the table, his life cut short by the very lust that had once consumed him. News reached the palace. Amnon was dead, and the kingdom trembled with the consequences of his sin. Absalom fled into exile, and David, heartbroken, mourned the son who had betrayed both his sister and his own future. Amnon's story serves as a tragic warning. He had everything, yet his desires ruled him. He let lust cloud his judgment, let evil counsel lead him astray, and in the end, he lost not only his honor but his life. Desire without restraint leads to destruction. Amnon could have been a great king, but instead he became a cautionary tale. A prince brought down, not by an enemy's sword, but by his own ungoverned heart.